Greetings and salutations, sports fans, racing lovers, and others. Gather round, bring all your little furry creatures out. We are live again. Welcome. Thanks for waiting for us. I've got to apologize. It's my fault we were late, but better late than never. So we are in AlfaRomeo Arnold Chat's dealership in Constantia Kloof. This is the head office. There's red cars, there's all sorts of lovely cars, and there's this beast behind us here, which is, as you'll see here, it's the safety car for this weekend's race at Zwartkops. Zwartkops is the AlfaRomeo 500. 500 what, you may ask? Well, 500 kilometers. And of course, Zwartkops. Gary, how are you?
Colin.
Have you?
Well, everybody. They say in the classics, this is a bit of an upside down one, but you see that? You see this guy over here? That's Colin.
Hello.
And the guy on this side is me.
So we've had Gary. It's been rather hectic. I'm glad you found your happy face.
And I see you got a new gadget in your hand.
I've got a new gadget. We'll talk about gadgets just now, but I want to talk about this little gadget here.
Yeah.
It's an AlfaRomeo Giulia Quattro Valvole.
I'm glad you got that out properly, because I would have got it all mixed up.
Don't worry, I can try, and I can also say espresso and buongiorno and quanto costa do bere. Anyway, this is an AlfaRomeo, but it's magnificent. Gary, just check out these brakes and the wheels, and there's all sorts of stuff here, and it's absolutely magnificent.
They had two of these that went up the hill at Somalia, the Somalia hill climb.
Oh yeah,
a couple of weeks ago. Yeah,
and you were down there. You saw them. I think this is one of. I've just checked out these tires here, Gary. They show some sign of robust driving. No, we're not allowed to show that. They're Pirellis. Okay. They really are nice. So let's just have a look around here. In the rest of the, I really dig this. This is a new SUV sports activity vehicle thingy.
Correct.
Check these brakes, China.
Why are they yellow, Colin, and these over here are red?
Gary, it's all to do with a four-wheel drive version and how cool it looks. Because when you pull in to get your coffee and your double espresso, por favor, you can show the dudes your yellow brakes.
Great.
Yellow is better than red when it comes to brakes.
And just while you say that, let's just say how's it to Trips Skumanis watching us online, and our favorite man in El Maurice.
Lee, I believe somebody said you coming to watch some racing this weekend. If you do, we'll welcome a hello. And Gary, I'm just watching how the dude's putting stickers on here. There's an art to putting stickers on properly onto a car.
Right.
Correct. And so, just very quickly, what is the biggest the number one secret to getting bubble-free stickers on a car?
Is we're squeezing it right. Like we're laying it down right and squeezing it right should get you the right sort of.
Are we talking about stickers, eh?
Correct.
So you lay it down and you squeegee it.
Yeah, like squeegee it. It's a special sort of, not really a special thing. It's just sort of a piece of plastic that flattens it nicely, and just going at the right angles to push out all the air bubbles before. You can't just start from the middle and go out. It's quite fun. It's challenging. But John, the bigger stickers you might do a bit of the sort of like a wet application, which also helps and makes it a bit easier.
And the other thing is we look for all our spelling features.
Yeah, we're busy with it.
Awesome stuff. So there we have, Gary, how to put some stickers on a car.
Good.
To summarize, you lay it down correctly. And you squeegee it at the right angle and get all the bubbles, and don't go too fast. And guys, we are talking about stickers.
Yes.
Okay, are we going to take a walk and try and sit down?
Take a walk and
past Arnold Chats.
Yeah, make yourself a bit comfortable over there. And
I can't look comfortable, Gary.
This is just what the showroom looks like. I'm just showing you the STR TV screens actually be going on. We've got Francois Pretorius watching us. He's online. And
hello, Frankie. How are you?
Colin, I know where you're going to go and sit. There's a coffee machine. I suppose we're not going to get any coffee, eh?
Gary? That is not the talents department. That belongs to catering. And if catering haven't got coffee, then we haven't got coffee. So,
right, guys, we do apologize about this be a little bit of a mixture, but just bear with me. I'll sort the camera out and
And the angle of the
Yes.
dangle and all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
And then Colin will start telling you about his new gadget he's got in his hand. I have no idea what it is. But production apparently put this together for us.
I think it's absolutely awesome, Gary. So while you're busy helping out the production department there, I just got our notes that from our production meeting this morning. Was really cool. So what's a couple of things that have been going on and stuff that's happening and not happening, and we haven't had one of these shows for a while, but I think that the biggest thing, Gary, has been the rate of technological improvement.
Yeah.
So there's new camera stuff that's happening. We won't go into too much detail about that, but it's you'll notice some of the pictures from this weekend. The production meeting originally said that we were going to talk about yesterday, today, and tomorrow. But we'll still talk about tomorrow and where we get there.
We'll talk about tomorrow, yesterday, and today we'll talk about, or yesterday we'll talk about tomorrow, today. No.
Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of. So
Well,
we've got.
Can I help you out a little bit?
We've got this thing is a
new
microphone.
It's a new toy.
It's brilliant. So
Whatever you do, please don't swallow it.
the one thing,
The sponge part. Eh?
Gary, keep it neat and tidy,
Yes.
and all the rest of it. So the one thing that we battled with a couple of things in trying to bring this world-class content to the hundreds of thousands of viewers,
Yeah.
and we do take your comments very, very seriously and your feedback. And if you've got any questions, please put them wherever they go. And
Yeah, they go.
I'm going to say over there, because we're looking at a monitor here. Production gave us monitors.
Yes.
I mean, this is proper, hey, Gary?
Yeah, so I'm
now
I'm starting to feel like one of these teams preparing a car for this race weekend, because now we've got goodies,
Yeah.
okay, and the goodies are the things that are going to try and make the show better.
Yeah.
So we've got a thing that stops the camera doing this flip-flop,
What's it called?
a gimbal,
Okay, and so that basically just makes for seamless,
steady footage.
unbelievable, high-quality visuals.
Colin, I didn't think you knew that about me, but thank you.
And then we've got,
A
because
wireless
I
mic.
talk so much, and that's my speciality, is
Yes.
the talking.
Yes.
We've got a wireless mic. It's
Yeah, so you know,
really cool.
yeah,
So we can
it's
wander off into the distance.
it makes it easy now if you're going to do an interview with the guy on the track. You still can talk like this, and you can interview the driver. So we're going to get high quality audio coming through for everybody this weekend.
So what do they call it? HD audio,
No, not quite.
4K.
There we go. In 4K.
So yesterday, today, tomorrow.
Yeah.
We got our equipment upgrade. I'm so glad you took charge at that production meeting this morning. Gary laid it down. You cannot believe he just tore a few strips off a few people, and he's taken really good. He's shaken up the whole show. So from a technical point of view, I think we're up and running, and I know Lee, you'll appreciate that, and Francois Pretorius from a technical point
Yeah,
of view.
he's telling me how to get dressed. Says, Gary, do your shirt up. I just realized my shirt was open. Do apologize about that. That's what happens when you try and get one of these things. You know what this is? It's a lapel mic. So you try and get there and you forget to get dressed. And
So I could walk away with my mic and you can talk, and we both talk, and then stuff will just happen.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you could take a stroll down there and describe a car to us, because I'm not going to move with the camera. But, you know, you could try and do your analog thing and sort of...
No, I'll tell you what, we'll keep the walking away for this weekend
Yes.
at Swartkorps. It's the Alfa-Romeo 500. The third round.
The big five.
The third round of the
Yeah.
South African Endurance Championship. 3 weeks ago, we were in Cape Town. Absolutely awesome race, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. We've got some results that,
I think
some of the
just before
emotion
we
and
go,
feeling.
Yeah, just before we go into all of that, there's been a lot happening and a lot of very exciting stuff, which when people arrive at the racetrack this weekend, they're going to see very close-looking cars to what's just happened on the international game.
Okay, hold on, but before
Yes.
we do that, let's just go back. We said that this is the Alfa Romeo 500 at Swartkorps this Saturday.
Yes.
And the race runs, so 500 kilometers. It's going to be about 250 odd laps.
Yeah,
It's going to
we
be
start
busy
at
as
40,
hell.
we start at 14:45. The race starts.
Yeah.
And should finish around about 17:45.
So that's 2:45 and should finish quarter
Quarter
to
to
6-ish. You said 17, Gary.
Sorry, 19.
No, 19.
No, 19.
Okay, so it's going to finish round about sort of between 8:45, somewhere around about there. And it's 500 kilometers, about 250 laps around Swartkorps.
That's right.
It's a 2.5 kilometer track.
Yes, and there's exciting cars.
There's
that are gonna
one
be-
left-hand turn, one maybe another one in a quick car.
Okay, you sort that one out.
And they're going to get dizzy. Tires,
Yes.
brakes.
Yes,
I think it's going to be awesome.
yes.
So the other thing, so Alfa Romeo cars are sponsoring this round of the SA Endurance
Yeah,
Championship.
that's why it's called the AlfaRomeo 500.
Okay, cool. And
so
what's
Alfa
that
as a
really mean
company-
for us?
Well, what it means is we now have a South African manufacturer involved in South African endurance racing, which makes it such an exciting platform. They do have a car that's going to be running, and that car will be run under the Arnold Chats brand as Arnold Chats Racing.
That's the dealership we're sitting in at
That's
the
the
moment.
dealership is sitting. That's one of the reasons why we're here. Unfortunately, we were hoping to get the drivers in, but they decided to take a trip to Italy.
Bellissimo.
Yeah, so Theo van Vieren and Bradley Scorer, if you're watching overseas in Italy, just say hi. I can see your comments in the bottom down there.
And they won the endurance, the index.
Index.
of
They're
performance
currently
last
leading
year.
the index of
And I'll tell you what,
performance.
that car, it's kind of built to TCR rules.
Yeah.
Ish.
Spec, yeah.
That's the kind of
Sequential gearbox.
specification. It's not too heavily modified. It's got a nice fuel tank, and it's probably the giant killer.
In the index and performance game, it is the giant killer, yeah.
but I mean,
At this stage of the series.
and overall, it finishes as sort of in the
Yeah.
well up in the top half of the top 10.
yeah.
So the other really cool thing, Alfa Romeo they understand about modern day sponsorships, and as part of the whole package of, they've got a lot of staff coming out to the event special area just above the pits for Alfa Romeo staff, and if you drive an Alfa,
Wait, just before we go there. That's what the nice thing is. We not only talk to people, we also give away freebies.
what are you giving away, Gary?
So Arnold Chat's dealership
Yeah,
is going to pay for any Alpha that arrives at the track with 2 people in it.
yeah.
Guys, I did say 2, hey? That's a driver and 1 passenger. They will get free entry into the track, and if you have children under the age of 12, you don't have to pay for them. So you want to watch some of the best racing in this country?
Okay,
Get into your fancy Alpha, or you're
Or
not
just
so
a normal
fancy Alpha,
Alpha.
or just an ordinary, like me, I
Is
had
it-
an Alpha Sud.
So did I. They were really cool cars.
Yeah.
But wrap it up quickly.
Yeah.
Because it's focus.
Yes.
And it's dynamic, and we've got to move. So if you've got an Alpha, come out to SWAT Corps on Saturday. Make sure that you're there, I don't know, somewhere around about 2 o'clock-ish for the SA Endurance Championship race, Alpha 500 kilometers. If you're in your Alpha, you and your mate or significant other or one other passenger, I think that's a safer way of putting it.
Yes.
You come in for free.
Yeah, because
and,
we never
and
know
it'll be
who's
cool.
watching, you know. I mean, some people are cool,
Gary, and
others
I
are.
was told that we need to keep things tidy.
I am.
We need to keep it, what do they say? Some kind of adult viewing. Right, so
Yeah, it's a children program, so we've got to be careful.
that's the throw forward, but
Yes.
there are a couple of things we want to talk about the race when we've discussed what did happen. But let's just quickly go endurance racing throughout the world. So the big news was in Bentley. And the
Just
movement
before
of
you go,
drivers in Bentley.
just before you go there,
Yeah.
Lee Phillips just asked a silly question.
No question is silly, Gary.
It is. He's got an Alpha in Mauritius. He wants to know if it counts. And it does count, Lee. As long as you drive through the grate of SWAT Corps in that Alpha, it counts.
Lee, you've been technical again. But yeah, it does count as an Alpha owner. I'm glad you still got one. Good stuff. But hey, he's the brick man of Mauritius.
Yes.
And bring some bricks and we'll get you in there.
No. Because if,
Okay, so-
if he meets up with Roy, then you know things are going to go wrong and bricks are going to fly. Carry on.
Okay, focus.
You were on the
focus.
Bentley.
I was on the Bentley.
Yes.
So what happened with the Bentley?
I think let's go back to the beginning of the race because I thought the McLaren.
No,
the
we had-
McLaren was
Before
awesome.
we go there,
Okay.
there was a driver change in the Bentley, and
Yes.
Jordan Pepper is now a Pucker factory. He's a Bentley boy.
Yes.
Old chap. Tally ho. And never mind that, was the quickest in the car. They should we summarize it quickly?
Yeah, he went out in first stint, and him and the team decided to pull what they call a joker, which is a joker pit stop. Okay, all the pit stops in the blank pan are controlled. In other words, you have 72 seconds from the time of pit entry to the time of pit exit. You cannot go faster in a normal pit stop. So you come in, you change your tires, you put your petrol, change driver, and if you finish in that time, you've got to wait.
And that's
okay?
why.
So when you cross the pit exit, it works out exactly 72 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah. But then they have a joker pit stop, which you can play anywhere in the series or anywhere. And that joker pit stop has no time regulation. So you can come in, do a joker pit stop, i.e. untimed things. So they went into the pit stop. They did a 25-second pit stop, new fuel, new tires, put him out in the race, and the next minute, Pepper managed to get the car up into the top 10. Constantly ran there, eventually got into the top 5, and from there onwards, they never looked back. In fact,
it was absolutely magnificent. And in this endurance race, it was at Paul Ricard.
Yeah.
Going into the last lap, it was unbelievably close. And I think that from a GT3 racing point of view, with the balance of performance that they've got, and balance of performance is not... The purpose of it is that different manufacturers with completely different layouts of cars
different
can come
performance
along
in engines, all that sort of thing.
and play in a levelish kind of playing field, so that at the end of the race, you still don't know who's going to win.
Yeah.
And we didn't know who was going to win, because going into the second last corner, the Bentley was ahead, but their bonnet had come loose, and the bonnet lifted up, and they lost it.
Basically, what the driver explained, if you saw the interview that we posted, the driver's side of the bonnet clip came loose, a la one of our Golfs, and it was lifting in such a way.
For George Smallberger, anybody who knows George Bonnet Smallberger, at least they had one of their bits of the catches of the bonnet working and not both. So the bonnet came up, he couldn't see the brake markers, he slowed down and lost the lead. Anyway, so that was the Blancpain.
Correct.
Are we still winning there, Gary? Is our monitor doing all right? Is production working?
Everything's going cool. I'm just going to put this...
Gary's just okay. So that was, and then Kelvin van der Linde had an issue. I think it was a second lap or so where they had
after the first driver change, because Kelvin was out first. He came in for the normal pit stop. Their tires in that. They had a driver change, and on leaving the pits, going into the second turn, he got.
So there was a second involved.
Yes.
Okay, so it was second turn.
Yes.
In the second driver stint.
Yes. And he got touched and unfortunately damaged the back drivetrain and the gearbox and all that sort of stuff for the diff. And they couldn't repair it in time, so they were out.
And then Sheldon.
Yes.
Came 5th, I think, eh?
No, Sheldon ended up coming in 10th. If I'm not mistaken.
2 times 5 is 10th?
Yeah. Fantastic drive. Sheldon was the fastest in that car.
Again.
But due to different issues in that, they didn't quite get where they wanted to go, but team was very happy with their performance.
But in qualifying, I think the first 15 cars were within 0.3 of a second. So the racing, the GDC racing...
Not only that, at the end, the first 10 cars were within that similar time game.
It's absolutely wonderful to see
that. And that's after 6 hours of driving.
So now, that's what was. And let's go back, talking about cars that are in the...
Well, this is just before
production.
Yeah, just before we go back there, what was very interesting, and this car does sit in South Africa, there is a Bentley in South Africa, and there is a McLaren in South Africa. And I hope these guys actually realize that they have got race cars at work.
Anybody want to send a message to Mr. Devaris? Justin, we hope to see you at Swartkorps on Saturday. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
And the reason I'm saying that is because the McLaren actually led the first 3 hours of the blank series, and McLaren was in the lead.
And they also won the AM class in
That's
the
right,
McLaren. Gary, these chairs are a bit strange. We've got to talk to the set designers to get us sorted out here.
Are you getting uncomfortable, bud?
I'm never uncomfortable. But I want to go back to
Let's go back to
Cape
South
Town.
African endurance racing.
And we had to me, one of the it really was an exciting race.
Yeah.
4 hours in Cape Town. The weather played along. It was really, really great weather. The drivers played along. The cars played along mostly. And there was a bit of an issue with balance of performance. Anyway, that got sorted out between the two Ferraris, because they're two 458 Ferraris. The Angel car down in Cape Town and the Rangi's car.
Angel Autohouse car and the Stradalia Motorsport car.
And they ended up qualifying, or in the race, their fastest laps were within 0.01 of a second, so within a hundredth of a second of each
Correct.
other. And it was damn exciting.
It was absolutely fantastic racing, especially the Ligiers that they had out there. I mean,
So let's run through the results.
Okay.
Just very, very briefly. First was Nick Adcock and Mark Jensen in the Ligier JS53 Evo 2, powered by a Honda engine. And second was the Angels in their Ferrari. Third was Charles Rangi's and Kishore Patamba in their Ferrari as well. And they were all within, it was super close. Within going into the last half hour, they were all on the same lap, and there were some pit stops, forced pit stops for flat tires, but and it was absolutely magnificent. Fourth was Fritz Kleinhans and James Forbes in another one of the Ligier JS53 Evo 2s. And the Evo part of the Ligier JS53 is the one with the proper aero. It's got really, really upgraded aero. And we're going to do a bit of another story on the aero and on that car and compare it to
the Ginetta
G57, which wasn't in Cape Town. They had a bit of a gear selection issue. Spoke to Stewie today, Stuart Thompson, who runs the car. That issue is apparently fixed, and they will be at Swartkorps on Saturday. So
that's great news, because that car is such a beautiful car, and the things that we're going to talk about with that aero package, and people say it's crazy, but if you're not driving a so-called aero package car like a Le Mans style car, okay, but you're driving a GT3 or a GT4, if you know how aero packages work, you can upset the fastest cars on the track, because a lot of them rely on the aero package to actually work properly. But we'll go into that on race day.
We will. Fifth overall. This is 3 weeks ago in Cape Town. It was a fantastic racing. Craig Jarvis, Stephen Young in the 2005 Formula Renault prototype. Some call it the Fang. This is the Formula Renault car.
Yeah, the World Series Formula
World Series
Renault
by
car.
Renault car. And they've put mudguards on it. And it doesn't have a lot of aero, but it's light as anything.
Yes.
And it's got some good grip. So it's also a wonderful sort of mixture, but it's sort of a bit fragile. I'm just got to put it out there. Damn quick when it sticks together, but it's a bit fragile. And then sixth overall, Bradley scorer Theo van Vieren, AlfaRomeo, Romeo Giulietta Turbo. That is...
Actually, when you see that car on the track,
clever.
it's the same colors as the Alfa Romeo Formula 1 car, the Sauber car. Same style, the way the red and the white all
I
works.
think that's Alfa are actually showing some really good understanding of sponsorship in the color of the Formula 1 car and the racing car.
That's right.
And then the battlers.
Battelier.
I'm going to call it battler. And Battler Motorsport.
If Mike phoned you, I'm not going to help you with that phone
Mark,
call, right?
It's Battler Motorsport. It was awesome to see these are guys Bruce Evan Taplin is a proper engineer. Back in the day, he was a really senior engineer at Toyota in Durban. And they've invented solutions to problems that haven't been invented yet.
Oi, before you go on,
Yeah.
the guys from Nissan are watching. Mr. Terence Marsh is online.
Okay, hold on. While we're there, Terence, we're talking about manufacturers and GT3 racing. There just happens to be a new Godzilla.
Yes, did you see it in
I
the
did.
pictures today?
And really, really cool car, GT3 car. Terence, talk to your friends, bring that car and come and run in endurance racing. It's cheaper and faster than an off-road racing car. Please, please bring it. Terence,
While you're on
please.
that, we should get the other guys to bring in the Lexus.
Well, I've half facetiously sent a message to the great one at...
And you haven't got a reply yet.
I got a reply. He
Oh, you
said,
did?
Yeah, he said, yeah, sure, we'll bring one.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll be awesome. McLaren, Lexus, Nissan, Ferraris, Aston Martins, Janettas, Ligiers.
There are 22 homologated GT3 race cars. And the cool thing about these cars,
Yeah.
Gary, is that it is alleged that some say, they take less people to run than a GTC car. They are cheaper to run than a GTC car as long as you don't bend them too badly. And they are a lot more reliable.
I wouldn't
They
say
come
I wouldn't say only GTC. I think they're cheaper and more cost effective to run than 2 other series in our country.
Particularly when you start having home-built specials, the GT3 cars are reliable as long as you follow the lifing manual and the instructions from the guys who
built them.
who've built them.
Yeah, correct.
And if you replace the parts, do all your scheduled maintenance, just like a normal road
Yes.
car. You bring it into your Mopar, get it serviced, change all the bits and pieces that need to be changed, screw them
Correct.
on properly, and they're reliable. They're quick, they're close, awesome racing.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. So just, now we can put that away.
Just before we go away from that, you were talking about the Battalion. That brings us to the
Tony Martin car.
backdraft Cobras.
Oh,
Okay.
I tell you, I felt
there were
for
2 of
Tony
them.
Martin. They ended up, there were 3 of them there.
Yeah.
The red one, the blue one, and then
Yeah.
the grey one.
Tony Martin, them under that workshop had 2 cars there.
Yeah.
And then Battalion had the
Battalion
one car.
had theirs. So on Friday in qualifying, the red one goes off the road, and then the suspension breaks. And then that was the one with
and
Brian
then-
Martin
Yeah.
driving
And then
in
the
it
blue
as
one
well.
went off the road and ripped the back suspension off
Oh
as well.
man, they worked, they battled. I spoke to Tony in the pits, and he was looking really tired, and he says, "Why do we go racing? You've got to work in these cars, got to fix them all the time." But they battled through. They got the cars to the grid, and they all run Lexus V8 motors. They sound
Yeah.
magnificent. The blue one's got a turbo on it, lots of grunt, and they finished, which was pretty cool. And the other little car.
Just before you go into the other little car, another guy that's brought in a fancy motor car, which is a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Ricky.
Ricky Gianna Riccaro.
Yes.
Ciao, bud.
Ricky, when are we going to see your car in the endurance series, brother?
So
It's here.
this is a Lamborghini. It's a
Yeah.
Trofeo car.
Yeah.
Rumor has it that there's more than one of them in the country.
2 came in. I have Nadia who's got the other one.
Awesome stuff.
I'm pretty sure somebody's going to say something.
So Ricky, just tell us if you're going to be there on Saturday or not. I don't see it on the entry list. There's 23 odd cars.
Yeah.
Now 23 cars, 4 hours, Swartkorps, 200 laps. Hey, it's going to be fun.
Well,
But
and
I've just got to have a
just-
shout out for this Power King Destiny. The oldest. This car is almost as old as you, Gary. But
He's actually online watching us as well.
Not
That
quite.
is- no, yeah, Rob Precy is online.
this is the 1984 Volkswagen Golf Mark 1 2-liter. This was the original car that was designed for the manufacturer's challenge back in the day.
Correct, yeah.
It's survived. It's been rebuilt. They really battled with a clutch issue, with a gearbox issue, and so from a battler's point of view, let's not call it battler. It's persistence, and never take no for an answer.
Correct.
And never ever back down. So they didn't. They got the car on the grid.
Yeah.
And they ran it, and Keegan Campos was in the car, had some huge smiles on his face. He says it was one of the nicest handling cars that he's ever driven. So that was Cape Town, and there were a couple of things that stood out for me about Cape Town. Number one, the level of competition has just ratcheted up a little bit.
Oh, big time.
The level of professionalism, there are Paoli air guns. For those of you who want to know about the
You mean
best
that-
air guns in the
I think
world,
it sounds like a Gatling gun.
Oh, it sounds really, really proper. So it's not just the air gun, it's the air gun and the regulator that that brings the whole match. So those are the super lightweight ones. There's there's lots of Powley air guns. The refueling rigs have got a lot better. We didn't see
up the game big time.
So the level of professionalism is getting up.
Yes.
The cars are getting nicer.
The whole operation from each team has improved at least 75 to 80% from the previous race.
Yeah. So that was the thing. The other was going into dusk, and as the sun disappeared in Cape Town, the lights came on, and it just brought back really great memories of Kyalami 9 Hour. Hold that thought, some say. For those of you, just drop us a note to say, do you think it would be cool if we had a Kyalami 9 Hour again? Hint, hint, the answer is yes, but let us know. So that was the one thing. The other was the level of camaraderie afterwards, and the spirit that the whole thing is done in.
Correct.
You know, the guys fought hard, and probably the biggest rivalry is between the two Ferraris. But
look, they had a fantastic race, and the guys raced hard, and the guys think.
But they drank beer together afterwards.
No, but they were at the opposite end of the pit, so they couldn't really spy on one another to see what was happening. It's not like the Cobras, which are all like squashed up against one another.
Yeah,
and
so
the two Legios parked next to one another. So these guys are, I wouldn't say racing blind, but they couldn't actually see what the others were doing. And they each had their hassles.
Yep.
Okay. Unfortunately for Charles Renges and Kisha Putheimer, they had a late puncher, which they lost a lap on.
And then the Ferrari had the Angel car had its fire extinguisher go. And
one angel jumped out, another angel jumped in, and the whole thing went white.
And we were watching it, and you could actually see how it sprayed onto the window. So the good thing is that they were able to now rearrange the nozzles for the interior fire extinguisher. Gary,
but they also got a penalty for that because they left the pit without a working fire extinguisher.
Yes, and
the rules they were clever enough to go around once, come back in, and by that time they had another fire extinguisher, popped it in, and off they went racing.
And guys at ATS Motorsport will be pleased to know they put Striker, which is the solid new way of doing it. Go to the ATS Motorsport website and have a look at Striker, Stryker, I think it is. Really cool fire extinguisher. Cool to use on boats around the house. You know, for those of you who cook and burn oil.
Are you doing a domestic retail show here?
No, I'm just saying, it's cool. We're going to shout out to people who support stuff and all of that. So, Gary, I see production are getting a bit anxious in the background. They want us to move forward to tomorrow, which is actually not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow, which is Friday, which is the day before the day after tomorrow, which is the day of the Alpha 500 at Swartkorps.
If you guys out there understood what he just said, good luck to you.
No,
but I missed everything.
They understand. So it's not tomorrow.
Okay.
Anyway, so Swartkorps, what are your two...
My predictions?
No, not predictions. Your two talking points. What are you looking for out of this race?
I'm looking for how the likes of Ferraris and the Cobras are going to upset the aero packages on the Legiers and the Ginetta. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about that on ground effect cars and the aero platform, and you've got to go fast to get the grip, to get the downforce, to get the grip.
Yeah.
And you don't have a lot of acceleration. Valid point. Okay, so that's point one.
So that's
point two.
aerodynamics.
Yeah.
Point two is to see who's going to challenge the Alfa Romeo Giulia of Arnold Chat's Racing in that class, because there were two cars of them in Cape Town. So one is George Schmalberger.
Do you think he's got his bonnet fixed yet?
What? Listen,
George, sorry for laughing,
wait,
but we have to laugh.
Okay.
I think it's...
Wait.
I think it's appropriate to laugh.
Okay,
so and that car...
None of the mechanics are online, so I can't warn the guys. Do not let George touch the bonnet of that car, guys.
So that's running in a kind of GTC Class 2 spec. Pretty
well,
close.
it's an ex-GTC2 car, so the
it's
spec
pretty
between
close
that and the
spec to
Alpha
the
are very, very similar. Okay.
Okay.
And they're pretty well prepared. the guys that work on Trevor Bland, that works on George's car, is very good at what he does.
And it's more of a home race for them. They're not so far away. And okay, so that's pretty cool. So those are your two things. And wild card, what's your wild card? Shall I leave you?
I actually don't have one, but no, my wild card is hopefully gentlemen like Lee Phillips, Arnold Chats.
Hold on, you say gentleman. Lee Phillips. He actually is.
He's watching. He's watching.
No, that's cool.
If he wasn't watching, you could
great team owner.
No.
He's done a lot for motorsport,
That's
and there's big things coming.
I know.
We're not supposed to say anything.
There, but between him and the likes of Arnold Chats being there, I think it would be great to actually get hold of those guys during the race and actually have a chat, because they both come from a different era to where these cars are now.
Arnold's even older than you.
Sorry, Arnold. He said it. I said nothing.
But it's great that he's still going to be there. Arnold was the motor racing steward, AA steward since forever.
That's right.
After Telefunken Alphas.
Yes.
Again,
correct, yeah.
Alpha. So my talking points is, how have the guys done their homework in terms of brake wear, tyre wear, and the dizzy factor of 200 laps at Swartkorps? That's the one. And then you've got the big Janetta playing against the little Ligiers. When I say little, they're lighter. They've got a 2-liter engine.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, that's my playoff. My wild card is to see how also with you with that production car race.
Yeah.
I want to see that work out. So that's our predictions, or the things to look forward to Saturday. It's endurance racing. It's close. It goes into the night. There's that wonderful atmosphere change. It's the week before Le Mans.
That's right.
Somebody in our production meeting last week claimed that Le Mans was this weekend. Totally wrong. Le Mans next weekend.
Is that person still in the company?
Fired.
Gone.
We
don't take no slaves.
He read the Riot Act to the production team. Technical have done their stuff. So we've got to get out of here.
Just before we do that, I just want to say hi to Ted Barbier.
How's it, Ted?
If you guys don't know who Ted Barbier was, he was the guy that entered Dakar on the quads, and we did that beautiful DirTiSweat thing about life in back of Dakar. What is it like for a quad rider and a bike rider? He was with us. And then also to Brandon Ferry. Brandon, I hope you can have a car on the track this weekend in endurance. In other words, get Bruce or one of them to bring that car. And we are at Arnold Chat's dealership in Constantia, to answer your question. And
I see they want to close up. So we're going to close up. Furious nodding. The production department has had a go at us. Right. Until Friday morning.
Yes.
Apparently, we've got an early morning weather report at
you got to do your weather report thing.
We'll do our weather report
on the main straight.
And we'll do that.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for joining us. If there's anything that you want us to particularly cover at the Alfa Romeo 500 on Saturday.
Just for everybody to understand, 90% of everything that happens on the weekend that we are involved in will be streamed live on Facebook. Keep your eyes open. We will post the links. So you'll be able to enjoy the race meeting. Those of you that cannot get to Swartkorps, that are in other parts of the country and other parts of the world, we'll bring you as much pit lane and interviews, etc., all live on Facebook.
So, give us your wishes. Tell us what you want, what you really want, and we'll do that. And on that note, who's going to turn the camera off?
The one and only. Cheers, everybody.
Thanks a lot, guys. Be well, be safe, be warm, and be happy.